A panoramic shot of the Boston Garden, the crowd roaring in anticipation. The camera zooms into a banner reading 17 championships, hanging proudly in the rafters. Transition to iconic footage of Larry Bird, his sharp no-look passes, clutch three-pointers, and his legendary stare-down with opponents. The screen fades to black, and a single spotlight illuminates an image of Bird in his signature Celtics jersey. In the history of basketball, there are names that transcend the sport itself. Jordan, Magic, Kareem. And then, there's Larry Bird, the man who epitomized the heart and soul of Boston basketball. Bird wasn't just a player. He was a phenomenon, a savior who carried the Celtics back to the pinnacle of basketball glory when the franchise needed it the most. From humble beginnings in French Lick, Indiana, Larry Bird's journey to the NBA was as unlikely as it was inspiring. A shy kid with an unyielding work ethic, Bird turned every doubter into a believer, and when the Boston Celtics drafted him in 1978, they weren't just getting a player. They were inheriting a force of nature. From the moment he stepped onto the court, Larry Bird proved he was different. He didn't just play basketball, he dominated it. His rookie season transformed the Celtics from mediocrity to championship contenders, reigniting a fanbase that had been longing for glory. Over the next decade, Bird became the centerpiece of a dynasty, leading the Celtics to 3 championships and cementing his place as one of the greatest to ever play the game. But greatness came at a cost. Bird's style of play was as ruthless as it was beautiful, diving for loose balls, sacrificing his body for every possession. He left it all on the court every single night, and while the fans cheered his name, his relentless drive and the Celtics' heavy reliance on him began to take a toll. Behind the glory was a harsh reality. Bird's body was breaking down, but the Celtics continued to lean on their superstar. They failed to manage his workload, ignored the warning signs, and refused to prioritize his long-term health. Their short-sighted decisions would cost them dearly. By the early 1990s, the weight of it all became unbearable. Larry Bird, the heart of the Boston Celtics, retired, his legendary career cut short. And while his legacy remains untouchable, it's impossible not to wonder, what if? What if the Celtics had made different decisions? What if they had protected their star? What if Larry Bird had been given the chance to shine just a little longer? The rise of a legend. Every legend begins somewhere, often in places no one would expect. Far from the bright lights and roaring crowds, greatness is forged in silence, with nothing but determination, grit, and a dream. This is the story of one such legend. A story of humble beginnings, relentless drive, and a journey that redefined the game of basketball. In French Lick, Indiana, basketball wasn't just a pastime, it was life. For a young Larry Bird, it was an escape, a passion, and ultimately, a destiny. Growing up in a small town with big challenges, Larry didn't have much. But what he did have was a basketball, a hoop, and an unshakable belief in his ability to rise above it all. From his very first game, it was clear. Larry Bird was different. While others played for fun, Larry played to win. His instincts were sharp, his work ethic unmatched, and his vision on the court years ahead of his peers. With every shot he made, every pass he delivered, Larry was laying the foundation of a career that would soon capture the imagination of the entire basketball world. But the road to greatness is never smooth. After a rocky start at Indiana University, Bird found his true calling at Indiana State. It was there, under the bright lights of college basketball, that the world began to see the brilliance of the player who would soon become a household name. Larry didn't just put Indiana State on the map, he turned it into the center of the basketball universe. In 1979, the world watched as Bird led his Indiana State Sycamores to the NCAA championship game. It was a clash of titans, Bird versus Magic. Although his team fell short, Bird's performance solidified his place as one of the most exciting players of his generation. The NBA was calling, and Larry Bird was ready to answer. When Larry Bird joined the Boston Celtics in 1979, the franchise was struggling. But Bird wasn't just another draft pick, he was the spark that reignited a dynasty. His rookie season was nothing short of miraculous, transforming the Celtics from mediocrity to instant contenders. Bird's name was quickly etched into the annals of NBA history, and his rise was far from over. Larry Bird's rise wasn't just about stats or trophies, it was about heart, determination, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. He didn't just play the game, he elevated it. For every kid shooting hoops in their driveway, for every fan in the stands, Larry Bird became a symbol of what it meant to dream big and deliver even bigger. This is the story of a boy from French Lick who defied the odds. The story of a competitor who never backed down. The story of a legend whose rise changed basketball forever. This is the rise of a legend. The grind takes a toll. Greatness is never handed to you, it's earned. But what they don't tell you is the cost, the sacrifices, and the toll it takes on the body, the mind, and the soul. Every sprint, every rep, and every sleepless night comes with a price. And sometimes, the grind feels insurmountable. The grind is the unspoken reality of chasing excellence. Behind every victory, there's an unseen battle, a battle against fatigue, self-doubt, and the physical limits of the human body. And yet, the greatest among us endure. Because for those who dare to dream, the pain becomes part of the process. The grind isn't just an obstacle, it's a teacher. It reveals the depth of one's passion, the strength of one's character, and the power of resilience. The grind takes a toll, but it also forges legends. It separates those who merely wish for greatness from those who are willing to bleed for it. And though the journey is harsh, the reward is immortality in the hearts of those inspired by your perseverance. So to all the dreamers out there, remember this. The grind will test you, break you, and reshape you. But if you can endure, it will also define you. And in the end, that's what makes the journey worth every sacrifice. The biggest mistake. The mistake wasn't just a bad trade, a poor draft pick, or even a misstep in management. It was a catastrophic miscalculation of talent, timing, and trust. This wasn't about losing a game, it was about losing an era. The franchise had in their hands a generational talent, someone who could change the trajectory of the team for years. But instead of nurturing that future, they gambled it away. Was it arrogance? Was it fear of committing too soon? Or perhaps it was a simple lack of vision? Whatever the reason, the decision to let go of this star wasn't just a mistake, it was the mistake. And the ripple effect, it was felt immediately. The team entered a downward spiral, empty seats in arenas, a fan base losing faith, and years of mediocrity. Meanwhile, the player they let slip through their fingers went on to achieve greatness elsewhere, a living reminder of what could have been. They underestimated how much that player meant to their future. It's one thing to make a mistake, it's another to make a mistake this big and not recover from it. The legacy of mismanagement. Imagine if Larry Bird played in today's NBA. Load management, advanced medical care, and a focus on player longevity could have extended his career by years. But in the 1980s, these concepts didn't exist, or at least, they weren't prioritized. What could the Celtics have achieved if they had protected their greatest player? Another championship, a longer rivalry with Magic Johnson, or even the rise of a new dynasty. Lessons for the future. The story of Larry Bird is a cautionary tale for the NBA. Greatness must be preserved, not exploited. Teams today have learned from the Celtics' mistakes, prioritizing player health and longevity over short-term gains. Larry Bird gave everything to Boston, and his legacy is untouchable. But his career is a bittersweet reminder of what could have been if the Celtics had taken care of the legend the way he took care of them. Outro. Legends are not born. They are made, crafted through years of hard work, sacrifice, and an unyielding belief in one's purpose. Larry Bird's story is more than just a tale of basketball greatness. It is a testament to resilience, determination, and the will to succeed against all odds. From the small-town courts of French Lick to the grandest stages of the NBA, Larry Bird's journey is one of perseverance and brilliance. He didn't just dominate the game, he redefined it. With every pass, every shot, and every moment of hustle, Bird reminded the world that greatness isn't about where you come from, it's about where you're willing to go. Today, Larry Bird's legacy shines as brightly as ever. His influence is felt in every corner of the basketball world, inspiring new generations of players and fans alike. The lessons he left behind about teamwork, leadership, and never giving up transcend the game itself. Larry Bird will forever be remembered not just as one of the greatest players to ever grace the court, but as a symbol of what's possible when talent meets hard work and heart. His rise was extraordinary, his legacy eternal. And while the game moves forward, the name Larry Bird will forever echo through its history. Thank you, Larry, for the memories, the inspiration, and the legacy. The legend lives on.